Yeah, this morning, it's Tuesday, July 2nd. The weather can't make up its mind what it wants to do. No, it seems like we're having a lot of extremes this summer. We had several days it was in the mid-upper 90s. And yesterday, let me see, Sunday it was really hot. All weekend there was pretty hot. And then Sunday, it was terrible, humid and hot. But Sunday evening, it kind of a cold front blew through. And yesterday was a lot cooler. I don't even know if it was much above 80 and degrees Fahrenheit. Now this morning we got up and it's 51. But it's supposed to start getting warmer. Today's supposed to be a lot cooler, but till tomorrow, I think tomorrow through the rest of the week it's supposed to be back up around 90 or so, and a little more seasonal, I guess. But so yeah, it just keeps fluctuating. This morning we're getting started to milk here, or just bringing the cows down and cleaning up the free stalls, and yeah, open up the gate to let the cows out, and boy, they all come trucking out of here. They're ready to roll this morning, so they must be feeling pretty good. Yeah, the fans all kicked off. I think the fans over here on the along the feed lane, we have them set to kick on at around 55, and the ones here in the center of the stalls somewhere in the 60s, maybe 65 or something. But anyhow, yeah, we're getting started to milk. Morning when we come up and get ready to milk, we go down through, or as the cows are coming out, we go down through and scrape off the dirty bedding of the stalls and pull a little bit of fresh bedding back, so it's got a nice clean dry bed for them. So, and well, we push out the old silage too. We kind of bring the skid loader up over here and push out the old silage, come down through. Until then, probably half of the cows are out of the barn already, and we go up through and clean the backs of the stalls off. We feed all of our leftover silage from the milk cows to the group of heifers down here that are just right before they're ready to go in with the bull. We have the two heifer barns there, the old heifer barn and the new heifer barn. When they come out of the new heifer barn, are getting close to a year old. They go into what we call the end of the hay shed before they go up to the other farm to get put in with the bull. And the heifers there in the hay shed is who we feed the leftover silage to. There's the pile of leftover silage we pushed out this morning. This is kind of average, maybe a little more than average. That's another thing, our intakes, when we have hot days and then it cools down, our intakes for the cows, what they eat, is fluctuating some, which that's the way it usually works. When it gets really hot and humid, they kind of back off. But yeah, this is probably a little bit more than average. This is probably 1.5 skid loader bucketfuls. We like to see between 3/4 and 1 skid loader bucketful, but it does fluctuate some. But yeah, there along the edge there, what was pushed out a little farther, like when the cows eat, they kind of take their noses and flip some out. And here in the summer when it's hot and dry, or hotter, and yeah, yesterday was really windy, 25, 30 mile an hour gusts, and it kind of gets dried out a little bit, what gets flung out farther in the feed lane there, so that's why it looks a little drier there. But yeah, it's still good feed. It's not and then what's left, what they have left, or what the heifers have left over tomorrow morning, we always push that out before we feed them fresh to just make sure they're not getting any spoiled feed. So. Oh my. Today's going to be a really beautiful day. The sun's coming up, or is up, and yeah, like I said, it was a little chilly this morning, but the humidity's really low today, so that sure is a blessing. Just about finishing up milking cows here this morning. It's probably have another, I don't know, 20 minutes to half an hour maybe. You can see the sun's shining in the barn back here, and yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful day. We probably have about 40 cows out here yet to milk. Down here. Yeah, we have a cave here on our farm. Some of my family's around this weekend and they wanted to come down in, so we came out here, and it's been here ever since my parents bought the farm. You can't see real good here, but yeah, you can see some on the walls. Down here in the bottom, it's probably 15 to 20 feet, 15 feet high to the ceiling. It's not, you gotta crawl through a small hole to get down into it. What do you see?
A little pool of water.
Oh yeah. Ah, I just had one drip on my neck.
But that's no good.
Yeah.
I'm on very good stuff up here.
Grayson, you need to follow Amber.
I don't feel like licking water.
Alright, keep on going.
This is lit.
Different people have carved their initials in here over the years, and we found one in here is from 1939 or some in the 60s, and that looks, I'm not sure what that date is, but yeah, here's some initials carved in here. That definitely says Dina there.
Dude, that looks like gold.
That is cool, the water drop.
There's that, well, WH.
Honey, it's gold. Wait, shine it up there.
But it just rubs off.
Oh, that's like moss.
Yeah.
Gold or mud. Moss or something. Wow, that's cool.
Ryan, I can see out.
Glenda, do you want me to take your phone or?
At this point, it might not be good.
It has been very dry. Today is Wednesday, July the 9th, I believe it is. There's a big storm coming, and we're just hoping and praying that it all holds together. I mean, it's just so close here. The storm clouds are just rolling through. It has been so hot. Today was like a high of 103, the actual temperature. There was a wind blowing all day. There was a hurricane, remnants of a hurricane came up through and kind of went west and north of us, but this is a tail end. It's kind of the front system of that coming through. Yeah, in the next couple days it's supposed to be a lot cooler. I went out and shut some curtains and some doors because, yeah, it sounds like it could get pretty ugly here for a little bit. Pretty windy and pouring down rain, so that'll be wonderful. We have some miniature horses and goats, which you've seen before. Here, this black one coming in right here. Her name's Minnie. She was a bottle baby when she was born. I forget if her mom didn't claim her. I forget what happened there. She's really tame. And when she was about 6 or 8 weeks old, she was, well, bottle babies are, like I said, really tame, but she would just come and jump all over you when you were coming in pen. And just like these two here, we have two, my wife has two bottle babies there, and here's another one that got really tame through her feeding them bottle babies. But anyway, going back to that black goat, that her name's Minnie, she had, the one day we have a feeder here, that like a trough we feed him some grain in, and I went to flip it over to dump it out. There was some dirt, or it had rained, I forget which it was, and here she came running around me just as I flipped it back down, and it fell on her back leg and broke it. And I was like, oh man, I was really bummed out about that. But we took and put a splint on it and wrapped it up with the cow foot wrap that you would wrap a cow's foot with, and it healed up and she's fine. She's probably 4 or 5 years old at least now, and you can't even, yeah, she don't even have a limp. You can't even tell which leg it was. I'm not even, I mean, if I feel it, I might be able to tell there's a little bit of a bump there, but you can't see it or tell it when she walks. But yeah, it's like we've been talking about, it's been really hot in our area here. It's not anything to get some 90s, a couple 90-degree days in the summer, or several 90-degree days, but this summer we've been having a lot of high 90s, like for 7 to 10 days in a row, and we finally went and got a fan and hung in here for these goats and horses. And we've been able to open up several doors. It's not like it's closed up completely, but they'll be a lot more comfortable since we hung the fan there. But yeah, we got quite a few goats right now with all the babies we have. I'm not sure, it's probably at least 35, probably 15 to 18 babies, and then there was 5 or 6 young ones we kept from last year for some replacements. We didn't breed them for this year, but we'll breed them this fall for next year. So there is 1 or 2 we got to get rid of. There's one big old heavy goat. She didn't have babies last year and she didn't have babies this year, so I don't know what her deal is. And there's one that lost her. She had 1 baby and she lost it. And there's maybe one other one. Actually, that Minnie, I don't think she had this year. I'm not sure why. She had last year, but not this year. But yeah. Anyway, my wife will be over here shortly to feed her bottle babies. They're here gone bonkers. But one more thing I might show you. We got this panel gate that is designed that like baby goats or sheep can go through it to be able to feed them grain. And I got us another small gate here. The opening we had for it, or the opening where we put the gate at, was just a little bit too wide. So we found the short 3-foot gate. I'm gonna hang here and that'll close that off. My wife will be able to start feeding them grain back here. There's 2 troughs I want to move over here and get them babies a little fatter before we sell them. So I didn't get my video turned on soon enough, but my wife came over here and they heard her calling for them, and they come running over here. We just feed them with baby bottles, and yeah, they pretty much go bonkers. She has them down to, she was feeding them 4 times a day when they were first born. Now I think she has them down to 3 times. I think she's wanting to cut them back to 2 times here this week, and then probably another 2-3 weeks they could probably about be weaned. They're getting big enough. They're about 2 months old now. They've done tremendously well. A lot of times the bottle babies that we have, we take them from their moms when we feed them, because a lot of times the mama won't claim them and they're newborns, and we try to strip some colostrum out and give to the babies to make sure they get colostrum. But yeah, for various reasons, they're usually newborns when we take them from their moms. But these here, their mom got mastitis when they were about 10 days old, and she ended up dying. So we just left them in the pen here with the rest of them, and they're doing way better than any of our other bottle babies ever did. And when I say way better, the others always did well. They were just, I don't know, they just didn't seem to grow quite as fast, and maybe weren't. And then when you try to put them back in with the rest of the herd, goats are kind of territorial. When you put a new goat in, if anybody of you know about goats, they'll beat the new one up for a little bit till they figure out their pecking order. But so yeah, they always did that sometimes with the young ones too. But here they're just out running with the rest of them, and so it's a lot nicer than what we've ever had before with bottle babies.
My little chickens, you can tell they are hot. I think everybody's hot today. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like 106. That was the highest I've seen. We have a fan here for them, but when it's this warm, it just don't do a whole lot. I mean, it just blows hot air around, but hopefully it helps them a little bit. Calves ready to be moved up to the next barn. We use this trailer and 4-wheeler to move our weaned calves whenever they get weaned down in the calf barn. We move them, put them on this trailer, and bring them up here, and they come live in this barn. you notice there's 10 of them in here, and we usually only keep 4 to a pen. So anyhow, today's July 4th, so we're gonna we're doing a holiday. We're not gonna do too much, so we'll let them like this till this afternoon, and then split them out. And yeah, this is normally what we have. Actually, there's 5 in this pen, 4 or 5, not more than that. So anyhow, but they'll be okay for part of today. Some of them are getting all excited. Calves, they would have just been in stalls. And anyhow, this was the first morning they're drinking, so they're taking off pretty good. They're taking off pretty good. You just have to show them where the milk's at, and once they figure that out, it's not a problem. We just have 2 in here for now, but there's 4 more over there in the stalls that will probably get moved over shortly.
Born here this morning. One was born about the time we came to milk. It's a bull calf, and the other one, I'm not sure, I didn't check it yet. It was just born a little bit ago. We always dip their navels with iodine, and then the bull calves, heifer calves, we give 2 different vaccines. The bull calves, we just give 1. The one's vaccinating for scours, the other one's kind of an immunity booster. Today's supposed to be really hot. Today and tomorrow both supposed to be really hot. I think the temperature's supposed to be around 100. Heat index maybe 105 to 110 or something, the real feel. It's been pretty nice the last couple days. Hasn't been too bad, but we're going back into the heat. We don't have a whole lot on to go the next couple days, which is good. We're working on the deck, the house where my son lives. But other than that, we don't have a lot to do.
He's saying we don't have a lot to do, but he's not saying that he's going to turn 52 tomorrow. So we, we do have a birthday to celebrate.